Hi, my name is Rachel with Evergreen Bride, and today we're going to be making a centerpiece in the Zoe collection. This is all going to be made from a DIY kit, which can be found on evergreenbride.com or Evergreen Bride on Etsy. You have just about everything you need provided in the kit aside from a glue gun and glue sticks, and then a pair of shears or wire cutters or scissors. Now, in the kit, you'll receive a bundle of filler, and this is all dried, preserved, and faux. You'll also receive your base, which is a wooden box with foam inside. And then you'll receive a pack of wire stems, as well as a bag of wood flowers. And as you can see, I have already stemmed my flowers just for time's sake, but I will show you the proper way to stem the flowers. So just place your flower face down, add a little bit of glue to the bottom, and then gently place the wire stem through the bottom of the flower, but you want to make sure that you don't go all the way through the flower because you don't want to see the green wire stem at the top. You also don't want to press down too hard because you don't want to damage your petals. So go ahead and get all of your flowers stemmed if you haven't already. And then we're going to open our bundle and separate some of this stuff. Okay, so we have our silver dollar, eucalyptus. Then we have some spiral eucalyptus and amobium. We have some parvifolia eucalyptus. Lots of eucalyptus in this collection. Texas tallow, bleached ruscus. We also have faux ruscus as well. Some bunny tails, star flowers, Ondaris fern, silver brennia, gypsy bloom, bleached yarrow, caspia, and then some heather. And then we have some carrot blossom as well. Okay. Now I will be making a 10-inch centerpiece. If you're making a 6-inch or you just want bigger or smaller, it's still gonna be all the same steps, you're just making a different size. So the first thing we're gonna add in is the silver dollar eucalyptus, because that is the main thing. So we're just gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. And I like to start with all of my greenery. So if you want, you could make them literally as long as your longest pieces. For me, that's gonna be a little bit bigger than 10 inches. So I'm gonna cut down or just break down my stems a little bit. You can get multiple pieces out of just one stem. So if you wanna do that, then you can go for it and get your money's worth. So as I place these pieces, I'm gonna place them kind of like at different heights. I wanna add lots of variety and just dimension into the centerpiece. So notice that one is flowing over the side. This one I can have coming up a little bit more upward, that way it can poke out the top of the flowers. And we're just gonna kind of keep that going throughout. This one's also draping down a little bit. We just want lots of variety. But I also don't want to have too much coming up on the top, just because I don't want to cover all of my flowers. So we're going to put the flowers in after we add everything in, and we want the flowers to have their moment. We don't want them completely overshadowed by all of the greenery and just all the different pieces. Oops, broke that down. Okay. think we're good. Just using a few more of the bottom of these stems. Okay, so I'll just kind of show you right now. I have just pieces kind of just going everywhere. And I try to add a lot coming right out the top, just so that we hide the foam and just have some pieces flowing over the top. Okay. Then we're gonna add our spiral eucalyptus, and you can do the same thing with this. If you can break it in half and get 2 pieces or more out of it, I'm simply just going to break off a piece. Another little tip, if you want to take off all those leaves on the bottom that you're not going to use, you can use those to sprinkle along a table lantern or use as a little flower girl toss, or just add it to anything else, and then you can, like I said, get more use out of your pieces. Okay, next let's go ahead and add the parvifolia, and with this one I'm going to break it in half and use 2 pieces. So I just kind of find a spot that'll make both sides kind of full. I'm going to do that. And honestly, I think what I'm going to do is break this one more time, and so now I have 3 pieces. Okay, let's go ahead and add the faux ruscus. And what you can do with this, I like to push all the pieces up to the top. Be careful, because that little, the part on the top of the stem does come off. So if you push that too hard, then it comes off, which you can still use your pieces, but just be careful as you're pushing them up to the ends. And I'm gonna trim down these stems. There we go. And you can even, if you wanted to, purposely take those off of the stem, and then you can have 3 separate pieces. Also, as you're building, I prefer to stand up so you can get, like a better view of it. I occasionally like to turn my centerpiece just so I can make sure that every side does look good. Because sometimes if you keep it in one spot the whole time, then only that side looks good. So just make sure you can kind of you turn it every once in a while and just get an overall view of it. Okay, let's go ahead and add the Caspia, and once again, I'm going to break this one into a few pieces. All right, next let's go ahead and add our bleached ruscus in, and I'm gonna break these down, and there is the same situation with these, where if you want to break it in half you can. Let's see, what do we want next? Let's go ahead and do some bunny tails. You can put these in individually if you want to put them in pairs or just little groupings, you can do that too. All right, let's go for the star flowers next. I love star flowers. They're some of my favorite pieces of filler to put in. And I just break these up into multiple smaller clusters. And then what I do is simply just snap off the bottom part of the stems. If you want to cut it with scissors or something, you can do that, but they are fairly easy to just break. So we got those spraying out. And then let's go ahead and add in the amobium. And amobium is pretty fragile, so be careful as you're placing it in the bow. Okay, now let's go ahead and add in the heather. One little piece I'm gonna add in here. Okay, so got a couple little pieces to put in. Let's go ahead and add in this yarrow. Can I go ahead and cut this stem down? We're just gonna put it just kind of off to the side a little bit more in the center. Okay, then let's add some silver brennia. And then Texas tallow. Then we can add in the Honduras fern. Let's see. Let's add it over here. Then we'll go ahead and add the carrot blossom in. And then lastly, I believe, at least for the filler and the greenery, we have some gypsy bloom. And I kind of do the same thing with this. You can kind of just break off the stems. Place that in there. And a few little pieces left. Okay, now that we have all of that in, we're gonna add in the flowers. And one of the reasons I wait till the end to add the flowers in is because you have the majority of your stuff, so really you're just filling in the little gaps and holes with your flowers, and it makes it really easy and it helps it just blend and look really cohesive. Okay, so as I add in my flowers, I really just place them in the foam and bend the stem. I kind of like grab the sides of the flower, and I'll show you what I mean. So it's in this in the foam, and notice if I could just like leave it like that, but we're gonna bend it, just push it down a little bit more in the filler. You have some little pieces poking out. And if you want to cut your stems, you can, but sometimes I think by leaving the stems longer and then just bending them, it helps give the centerpiece an overall more flowy appearance. And sometimes if you cut them, it makes it a little bit more stiff. And as you're adding flowers, you're gonna bring them over to the side and kind of flowing this out of the side. Kind of show you what I mean. So we're not gonna place them all just from the top. This one I'm placing a little bit more on the side. Oops, that one. Okay. So you can kind of see I have it more face, almost like more towards me, just in case if the centerpieces are at eye level, you wouldn't be able to see some of the flowers. And you also make sure your flowers are all different like heights. If you have them all the exact same height, then it makes the centerpiece look a little bit more rounded. And for this collection specifically, it is a little bit more wild, and so we really want to have some of those varying heights. Okay. Oops. One more flower after this one. right, last one. Okay, so I'm just gonna look around, make sure every side looks good, make sure I'm not really seeing any of that green foam. Okay, let's pull some of this silver dollar up. All right, so there you have it, a 10-inch Zoe centerpiece. And I just think this is such a pretty collection, and I hope you love the one that you made, and I hope you had so much fun making it, and thank you for making it with me.